The Anunnaki remnants who escaped Atlantis began constructing cultures, which we now know as Aztec, Inca, Mayan, and most importantly the ancient Egyptian. There are many Anunnaki on planet Earth today. Some are the descendants of the survivors from Atlantis, who escaped before it was blown up. After the destruction of Atlantis, the third wave of genetic engineering performed by the higher-class Anunnaki remnants took place about 20,000 years ago. One group of Anunnaki remnants built the pyramids, by employing massive amounts of forced human labor and advanced technology. These sites were used as launching pads for spacecraft for the privileged classes of the Anunnaki remnants. The early Egyptians, who built the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, were also Anunnaki remnants from Atlantis, whom the Anunnaki elite had intended to annihilate when they destroyed Atlantis. When they returned to Earth after destroying Atlantis, they saw Anunnaki remnants cultures. The Anunnaki elite usually appointed the rulers and kings of various cultures. And when the Anunnaki elite fled, and the Anunnaki remnants took over, the remnants adopted this pattern of appointing kingships. This is why many cultures, including the Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian and Western European, followed the order of the divine right of kings. Thousands of years ago, when the Anunnaki elite returned to Earth planning to restart their dominion on Earth, they were surprised to find the Anunnaki remnant cultures blossoming. This concerned them greatly, as they thought they were losing control of the Earth to their former slaves. In desperation, the Anunnaki elite set upon retaking control of the Earth. They did this by causing a deluge, which catastrophically destroyed almost all evidence of the former cultures. Only the huge monuments such as the Sphinx, the pyramids, the ziggurats, etc. survived the flood. Nearly all the huge monuments around the world were created at the behest of the Anunnaki elite or later, the Anunnaki remnants. Fearful that there would be Anunnaki remnants left after the deluge who could rapidly reconstruct the culture, especially in Egypt, the Anunnaki elite took the tremendous risk of selecting an area of the Earth onto which they could instantaneously deposit a culture that would be far superior to that of any tribe on Earth. There were battles among the various groups for supremacy, but the Anunnaki elite were too powerful for them. The Sumerian tablets record events of so-called origins of man and creation, that were really events of the beginning of the Anunnaki elite's latest colonization of the Earth. The conquerors themselves wrote the tablets. Thus, what was recorded on the tablets by the Sumerians dictated by their so-called gods, was self-serving. Through past experience, the Anunnaki had seen how religions could control the populations of various worlds. This is an important tool that they use for control. The Old Testament is dedicated to Yahweh. It is very male-orientated, because the Anunnaki were extremely upset with Mother Goddess worship and wanted to eliminate any mention of her. The Old Testament acknowledges the presence of many Anunnaki gods on Earth in early times. The Genesis story is about the spread of humankind through generations following Adam and Eve, and the story of the divine's disenchantment with humankind that preceded the deluge. In the Sumerian texts there was mention of the people of the Shem, meaning spaceship. The Anunnaki were the people of the Shem, and they came down to Earth and copulated with primitive Earthlings. This is recorded in the Genesis story. The Anunnaki elite also started a new, highly advanced culture in Babylon. As always, they destroy cultures and murder the populations whenever they get out of hand, then they restart elsewhere. Today the Anunnaki remnants are planning to re-establish the majesty of bygone days, when the Anunnaki elite had a complete tyranny over the Earth. They plan to restart the world again. The Anunnaki remnants, with the help of humans as well as the incarnated Anunnaki in human bodies, have built massive underground bunkers and railway lines that are a part of their structure, for allowing them and their cadre of attendants to survive the catastrophes that they believe the fugitive Anunnaki elite are planning for the Earth.